Hey, Wrestle fans. You're listening to the Wednesday Night War Podcast, episode 65, Days Late. What's up, Warheads? Wednesday Night War Podcast, episode 65, late edition. I'm DJ. I am here with Brett, connected by the internet.
Hello.
My hand reaching out, touching your hand.
Hello.
We're late. Internet issues. Turns out doing podcasts is rather impossible when you don't have the internet. Who'da thunk?
Key component seems to be, internet.
Yeah, they should probably put that in the manual when you sign up for a podcast and they send you the manual on how to podcast. That should be step one, but it's not.
What would be step two?
Step two would be
Don't use like Blog Talk Radio or something.
Yes, yeah, that's step two. Don't use Anchor.fm.
I like that.
Yeah. Step three. Don't use the microphone that is built into your laptop.
No, God, no, please,
Don't do that.
Hell, no.
Don't do that.
Ugh.
Not a good thing.
Yuck.
Not good. But anyway, we're here to talk wrestling. A few days late, but that's fine. There's a few things I'm actually excited to talk about, so I'm glad we're together.
Okay.
Not that we've never really done any teasers before, but I'm excited to talk about a return to greatness from a semi-absent star this week.
Oh, all right. You're telegraphing it too much, but there, pal. Well, let's talk first about Tuesday Night Wrestling that I watched.
Yeah, I did not. I forgot Impact was a thing. Yeah,
well, it is currently a thing. It wasn't a thing for the last 2 weeks because it was just like a best of,
right.
I think.
Right.
Boy, you're putting 4 hours into a best of for 1 year. Eesh,
well,
that's a stretch.
Yeah.
But there was some interaction with Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns and the Bullet Club of Kenny Omega, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson.
Okay.
Basically what happened was Rich Swann and Motor City Machine Guns were cutting a promo talking like, like they busted us up last week or however many weeks ago that was, and they're like, I say we go get some revenge. They're out in the parking lot with that bougie ass bus.
Okay.
So let's go get some revenge. Well, they went to go get some revenge and they ended up getting jumped by Omega and the Good Brothers, and they beat him down, and they beat him down pretty bad.
Okay.
So there was that, building up to that 6-man, which is on Hard to Kill, I think the name of the pay-per-view is.
Yeah, that's coming up soon, right?
I think it's next Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be ordering that.
I don't think there's enough of a draw.
Well, I don't know, man. There's supposed to be a barbed wire massacre match on there.
Between who?
Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan.
I'm good.
What about an old school rules match, dude?
Between who?
The Eric Young, Joe Doring, and whatever guy they're with now against Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and whatever guy they're with.
Whew.
You're not sold?
I mean, I love Rhino.
What about Jordan Grace versus Jazz?
That just happened, didn't it?
No, they were teaming up. They were a tag team, but they lost in a tournament.
Oh,
now
really?
they're going to face each other. Yeah, and Jazz. So Jazz is bald now. Does she shave her head? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
So it was real. I felt bad watching it, but she was wearing like a gray, like a beige jumpsuit, and I'm like, what the fuck is New Jack doing on Impact?
Yeah.
But no, that was just Jazz. So that's going to be a match that's happening.
I swear I was looking at GIFs of Jazz beating up Jordan Grace today.
I don't know. Maybe you were. Maybe I'm making this all up.
Jordan Grace 100% took a tornado DDT from Jazz.
When did that happen?
I saw it on Twitter today.
Oh, did it happen on Twitter today?
I don't know. I guess so.
Oh, I think there might have been a TNA thing tonight. Now that
Yeah,
you mentioned it.
Genesis.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that
Was
was.
that a pay-per-view?
I don't know what it is, but that had Jazz versus Jordan Grace.
Oh, well, late on that one, Brett. All right.
That's all right.
Anyway,
I mean, it's not hard to kill, so you're only half wrong.
no, I'd rather be half wrong.
But I like Jazz, man. Jazz doesn't get enough credit, I don't think. That was unappreciated in her time.
All right,
for being tough
I'll
as
give you
nails.
that.
For being tough as nails. Maybe not as good of a wrestler that has sort of developed out of current women's wrestling, but I wouldn't want to fight her for real.
No, oh my God,
she's-
she'd whip my ass.
Yeah, she's tough as hell. So underappreciated in the era she was in.
All right, I'll give you that. Well, let's jump into the wrestling that did happen
Hold on.
Wednesday.
Was there a TK threatens to buy Impact promo?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
How dare I forget?
Yeah.
He did most of the talking. Shivani didn't do much,
Okay.
which is sad. But he was just like, hey, like I have like my grandmother sent me a Christmas card with $100 bill in it. I'm gonna spend that for an advertising spot next week on this lame show. Yeah.
Okay.
He was pretty much just like, yeah, if any of you like actually have the guts to show up on Wednesday night, go right ahead.
Yeah.
So a little foreshadowing,
Okay.
maybe.
Interesting.
But that was all the crossover there.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So do you want to get into Dynamite?
We can. Well, so first though, there was a little bit Impact news, or not Impact news, Dynamite news, AEW news, that sort of came out. I guess it was from Dark. I didn't watch Dark this week, but Tony Khan on a bit of a music rights buying spree.
Yeah. What the hell song did he buy for Jungle Boy?
What the hell is the name of that song? I don't know.
Tarzan.
Tarzan Boy.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All I know is I laughed real hard when they put the clip up of Taz singing it.
Yes, hilarious. So if he wants to buy some more songs, you go right ahead. Maybe Jane by.
Well, that's number one on the list. Yeah.
So that Orange Cassidy can get his real entrance music back, and since I just literally an hour and a half ago got done watching Wet Hot American Summer, I can laugh.
God damn, I love that movie so much.
So good. But anyway, that's a cool thing. It's something that I think makes AEW seem more fun. Like it's just like the guy can afford it, and having a guy that's willing to spend his money on fun things, as opposed to spending his money fighting concussion lawsuits and whatnot, other billionaires do. It gives that sort of air of we're having fun here. We want to project that fun through the screen, all that sort of stuff. So I like that.
He's such an ECW fan that
Right.
like he knows the music adds to it.
Right, and
It adds to your product.
and Tarzan Boy is probably an easier get than say Enter Sandman. So
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go out on the limb and say
Yeah.
you're right there.
oh my
pal.
God, wait a second, brilliant idea. Let's get Tony Khan on the phone with the guys from Prong, and we'll just have Prong cover any song that Tony Khan might want.
Honestly, I'm down.
Okay.
What was the one at ECW, the music record? What was it? Harry Slash and the Slash Tones?
Yes, Harry Slash and the Slash Tones.
I wonder what they're up to right now.
Who knows?
Just they've been waiting in the wings for their shot.
Right. They've been waiting. They've been playing bar mitzvahs waiting. Like, y'all remember ECW? And it's just a bunch of 14-year-old boys going, I
At
have
a
no
bar
idea.
mitzvah, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, well, this was a huge hit.
Not like, like, I don't know, who's a popular artist right now? Billie Eilish.
Okay.
She's not playing bar mitzvahs, nah.
No.
It's Harry Slash and the Slash Tones.
That's right. Goddamn right.
All right, well, let's get into Jesus
Dynamite for
Christ.
real. New Year's Smash. Part 1, are they
Oh,
doing
yeah.
part 2 next week? Is that a thing?
I think they are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. So,
All right.
yeah, so this was New Year's Smash Part 1.
Yes.
We're kicking the show off with the Young Bucks and SCU up against the Acclaimed in TH2.
Yeah.
It goes like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
and Young Bucks and SCU won, which again, I don't know, not a surprise.
No.
Um, uh, uh, Listen, I don't know. This style of match doesn't really do much
It's
for me.
again, it's the same thing every time we talk about it. It's a Young Buck schmoz. Um, uh, it's a thing where I don't pay attention to because I know that it's not really my thing. They do big stuff, they do weird stuff, they do crazy stuff. If anybody out of these four teams, the Acclaimed would be who I wanted to watch. Not that I've
See, and I was just about to say, I don't know if that's saying much.
yeah,
for
not
you.
that I've turned around on them at all, but okay, well, I want to watch the one team that is new and interesting that I don't know exactly what they're going to do at every moment.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a thing. And then after the match, SCU says like, if we lose another match, we're no longer going to be a tag team, but we're coming for those belts. And I'm like, you have the Acclaimed, you have TH2. I know Best Friends are out of commission, but you have Butcher and Blade. Again, some of these guys are in other programs, but you have all these tag teams. You had Top Flight, Private Party, all these tag teams, and you're working a Young Bucks SCU program.
Yeah, well, like I said, I thought it was a mistake, like pushing the Acclaimed
Right,
and just having them lose, and boom, they're back down the ladder.
right,
I think TH2 they've already lost to the Bucks, so
right,
it's kind of hard, like when you just keep handing out title matches
right.
and you just keep beating everybody, and like there's nothing left.
And so I don't know if you saw this, but supposedly the one Buck broke his leg.
Well, yeah, I saw that, but it turned out like it was just a real bad bone bruise.
Oh, okay, so all right, so
Yeah.
it's just a whiny baby. No, that hurts. I get it. So okay, so that's good. So they won't just have to drop the titles in some unceremonious way. They can continue to job out every other tag team until Christopher Daniels wins them. I don't know. Whatever. I don't love Christopher Daniels, but come on.
Come on, don't hate on the fallen angel.
No, listen, I do. I love Christopher Daniels. Kazarian's fine. I can take or leave him. I don't have a ton of experience with him. I love Christopher Daniels. I like watching Christopher Daniels wrestle. But in 2021 now, I'm not gonna push them to a main event title picture when you could literally grab a handful of tag teams that are younger and don't have the pre AEW exposure and make something out of them with a title shot, with a title run, with a win over the Bucks. Like whoever wins these titles off the Bucks are going to be made, and SCU's not going to win the titles off of them.
No.
But like you're wasting time. Come on. Then we're going to do an SCU breaks up thing, and then we're going to see what Kazarian versus Christopher Daniels.
I guess so.
Okay, great. That's not.
That'll be exclusively on Dark.
For a company with this much young talent and like I said, trying to be fun and trying to get new eyes and all that sort of stuff, you're relying on an awful lot of ex-Impact talent.
That might be true, my friend. Well, after the commercial break, Jon Moxley's back.
Yes,
he's here. The former champ. Haven't seen him since he lost the belt, right?
Yeah. I don't think we've seen him in a while.
Yeah, so he just cut the promo basically on Omega and what's his face, Callis.
Yeah,
just says he has a zero tolerance policy for shitty people,
which makes being a professional wrestler really hard.
Yeah, like impossible, basically. Yeah. It just says like, listen, like I could bust you up tonight, but like Rey Fenix has a shot, and I'm not going to take another man's shot away from him. So. Right. Just says like, Kenny, like you're not safe. You're never going to be safe, and I will get even and then some. So, good promo. I liked it.
Yeah, he, the director and the cameraman must hate when he shows up because he just paces back and forth in like a circle. So he's very hard to shoot. Like you should just pan out and shoot, not try and follow the shoulders up shot you're trying to get of him as he circles in the ring.
It's funny that you say that because in regards to the last match or the first match we talked about, Jack Evans like tweeted out a clip of the match, like a few clips of the match this week.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Who's ever producing or like whatever, please stop with the camera cuts.
Yep, stop cutting from Impact."
Yeah, he's like, Just keep a wide shot on the move, please. Right. I'm begging you. But yeah, Moxley's back, and he's looking for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
We go backstage to Chucky T and OC, saying Trent's going to be out 4 to 5 months. In come Miro and what's his face?
Kip
I can't think of his
Sabian.
name right now. Kip Sabian, and Penelope, and I don't know. I just
yeah. It's a bad gimmick. That's like a bad program that's hurt because Trent's legit hurt. Miro is not good at this. I don't know. People complain about WWE like scripting all their promos now. Maybe Miro needed that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he says, Chuck has to step up, but if you can't, Miro, I'll be your best friend, and you could be my young boy. And Chuck's like, well, I wrestled in Japan, and I'm not going to be your young boy, but I am going to beat your ass.
Right.
And I did laugh that Chuck was like, can we just get this over with already, please?
Yeah.
But Miro's just like, oh, well, if I beat you, you're my young boy until the wedding.
Yeah, which is 100% what's going to happen, unfortunately. But I'm all in for a Chucky T singles run while Trent's out.
Yeah, I mean, I love Chucky T. Yep. Chucky T's the man. I remember, towards his end of run in New Japan, his character was getting super interesting and, snapping on people and hitting them with chairs and,
right.
I'm like, all right, I'm down with this Chucky T. So it'll be good to see him be able to show some more character, too.
Agreed.
Because he's hilarious.
He is.
Next match, we have...
oh, boy.
The Wardlow.
Yes. Going
up against Jake Hager. Inner Circle's on top of the stage. Oh, we didn't mention, but Jericho's on commentary for this. But he's Jericho's getting a lot of attention for a lot of other things lately.
Well,
but so the match, So the match itself, it went 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wardlow got the win very convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
Hits that F10 and just 1, 2, 3, and that was it.
Yeah.
I see, so on paper, I'm like, oh man, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Oh, I thought it was one of the worst matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I hated it.
So are you going to say that it was worse than Monday Night Raw where Dana Brooke beat Shayna Baszler this week?
I didn't see that, so it doesn't qualify. But it is worse than the Bobby Walker, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker match I watched from 1992 the other day.
Well, I didn't see that, so.
They were doing such generic throws that commentary didn't know how to call them. They were just like, "Oh, he got him up. He threw him there." Hager. To me, it looked like his knees are shot. He's having a hard time moving in the ring. I think Wardlow is a little out of place or just not experienced enough, and these guys aren't wrestling a ton. When was the last time did we ever have a Wardlow singles match? How long's it been? So I just think he was lost. I watched this match and I was like, cool, should just be a Haas fight of guys they keep calling giants when they're 6'4" or 6'5", but whatever. But I was like, okay, Haas fight. They could just beat the crap out of each other. Hager can do some MMA stuff, whatever. And then it was just nonsense to me. I really didn't like it. Really, really didn't like it.
Oh, see, I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I even liked Wardlow's generic babyface promo at the beginning where he's just like, "You're mad at me because I cared for my family. Well, I'm gonna beat your ass." All right, Wardlow, good for you.
Okay.
So after the match, they just bump fists.
They're friends again. Yep.
Yeah, and then Wardlow leaves. So
this gimmick left as quick as it appeared.
Seriously,
one week they were like, "We're mad at each other. We're gonna wrestle," and then they're like, "No, we're cool now. Okay, let's just move on."
We go backstage to Private Party with their contracts, and in comes Matt Hardy.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, I know 30% is a hefty fee, but it'll pay off." And then Snoop Dogg is there. And
Sure was.
I don't know. This just like this was on, and I'm like, hey, what's happening on Twitter? Like,
Yeah, they had a bottle of gin. Snoop Dogg gave them juice. Ha
there we go.
Yay! What a joke. What a joke that's never been done before. Matt Hardy needs to stay off my TV. But if he's going to be an unscrupulous manager from now on, I guess I can live with that.
But he's still gonna work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just have no interest in it at all. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
We come back. Team Taz is in the ring.
Yeah.
Darby has his new title in his hands,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a scale in the ring because we're doing a weigh-in for next week's TNT title match.
Yeah.
And Tony Schiavone's also in the ring. Cage goes first. He weighs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Darby goes next. He doesn't weigh as much.
Right.
Taz's like, oh, there's a 100-pound weight difference because look at all the stuff you have on, Darby.
Mm-hmm.
And Darby just responds, and he's just like, listen, like, I've been dealing with like shit like this all my life from people like you, Taz,
Mm-hmm.
and we all know how this is gonna end. So let's just do this. And one of the weirdest lines is Taz tells Tony to get his white ass out of the ring.
Yes.
Like, I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Right.
All right, Taz. Lights go out, and we have a blizzard in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Because here comes Sting. And Taz just screams that next week we're going to have a new champ. Sting and Darby kind of look at each other again. And, Darby leaves the ring. And I guess I don't know if Sting's watching his back or what. I guess so.
I'll tell you what. This was the least interested I've been in Sting since his return.
Okay. So Adam Van's getting you. Okay.
He's not, because I'm still happy that Sting is there, and I'm still excited to see what they're going to do with Sting. I just wish they would do something with Sting. And I know it's a slow burn. I know you're not going to waste Sting on TV, and I don't want to see Sting wrestle necessarily. I sure as hell I'm not going to flip out on the internet about Sting becoming champion, because that's not going to happen either. But I was just like, okay. I mean, lights go out, he shows up. Okay, maybe he can swing a bat or talk or something. I don't know. I was just like, okay, it is there. They got to kind of, I think they should progress it a little bit faster than they are. But I also understand that they're going to wait for that payoff for the pay-per-view in February.
Yeah, when we get Sting versus Taz.
Right.
God damn it,
Taz has a lot of working out to do in less than a month if he's going to get in that wrestling ring.
Let's get Sting versus Hook. How about that?
Okay. All right.
I'll allow Hook's first match to be against Sting.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
So we go backstage again, and Jake Hager's real mad.
Mm-hmm.
And MJF comes up to him and he's like, hey, man, you're a winner. Hager's like, you know what? You're all right.
Yeah.
And that tells him to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So MJF infiltrating the group more, I guess.
I guess that's gonna, yeah. And that's the thing. That's what's gonna happen with the Inner Circle. And I think we talked about this weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Is that whenever the world goes back to normal and Jericho has to go back on tour with his shitty band, I think MJF will steal the faction from him.
I could see that. And then Jericho turns babyface.
Right. Jericho comes back. That's mine. Jericho is out on the road, so he comes back in perfect physical condition. Because he's certainly not doing anything that would lead to a lesser physical condition. And he's certainly not hosting podcasts that will smooth your brain if you listen to it for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, fuck him. So we get a recap of -1 cutting a promo on Marco Stunt from Dark and a pull-apart brawl that they had.
Yeah. Good
to see them
it's
involving
fun.
him and stuff like that. It's
right.
fun and harmless. So
yes,
I like
exactly. It's a nice little thing. I saw some clips of -1 training with Liv Morgan this week.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's nice to see everyone sort of rally behind still. Everything that happens. So
we're big fans of that. So,
right.
we're backstage with Jurassic Express, and Stunt tries to talk about it, but FTR says, you know, Stunt, you suck, basically.
Yep.
I don't know. Stunt flips out and says that he's taking Luchasaurus' spot in the match next week.
Mm-hmm.
And FTR makes short jokes and totally pats him on the head and they leave.
Yeah. I prefer the Jungle Boy Marco team up. I think Marco is the most entertaining wrestler out of the three of them. He's at least it has built in like drama and story in his matches where, he immediately, when he gets in the ring, the size difference alone adds to the drama and is an easy storytelling thing if done right. So we'll see if FTR can do that right. But, I like Marco.
You mean you'd rather Marco over the man that gave you chills, Luchasaurus?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you even remember what he did? I don't even. I know that I said it, but only because every time I mention him, you mentioned that I got chills, and I believe that I said it. I no longer remember saying it or when it was, but I trust you. I believe that I said it.
Oh, trust me.
But
said
do you
it.
remember?
I wouldn't just say. I wouldn't just pull that out for nothing.
Do you remember what it was about, so I could rack my brain as to what he was doing?
I want to say he made like a return or
a run
I remember.
It was his hot tag after his leg injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember exactly what it was now. And you know what? I will still say that was really good. He was back like weeks early from an injury, and he got in the ring and he looked good for 30 seconds.
So much to give you chills.
It's chills.
Listen,
I got chills driving down the road today when Dropkick Murphy's Barroom Hero came on the radio because I miss live music so much. So,
well,
I
miss live music too, but not the Dropkick Murphys.
That's a good Murphys record, but that's the state that my life is in. Although this was weeks and weeks, months ago that Luchasaurus did this to me. But maybe it was, you know what? It might have been the douche chills. Maybe I was just mistaking the chill type.
There you go.
It's probably I misinterpreted the chill type. But anyway,
right. Cover your ass.
We'll move on.
Well, let's move on to Matt Sydal
God,
versus
can we
Cody
move
Rhodes.
on to something else?
Cody comes out with Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg has added some lyrics to Cody's theme song, and Jericho keeps shouting that Snoop jumped to AEW.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Ugh, yep. So Cody versus Sydal.
Yeah.
Cody wins. It goes 10 minutes. During the match, Cody accidentally hits Serpentico, to which leads to after the match, where Serpentico and Japanese deathmatch legend Luther jump Cody, and Cody gets the upper hand with Sydal on them, and then Snoop Dogg falls off the top rope onto Serpentico.
It was something. It's interesting that they were like, we got Snoop Dogg here to promote this big show that's coming up. Let's involve Luther and Serpentico to work with Snoop. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, they were really plugging the shit out of this show too. It was all over the aprons, on the turnbuckles.
They were. I watched it too.
Oh, did you?
I did. It was on like a rerun. I caught a rerun real late at night.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
No, I mean, it's they put two like extreme acts up against one another, and then the judges vote, and then one goes home, one doesn't. And there was like a lady who shoots bow and arrow with her feet. There was a guy who has like something up with like the pores on his skin, where he can control, like he sweats extra and his pores are like suction cups, so he can stick stuff to him.
Ew, that's not a talent. That's just gross.
Yeah, he called himself like a real life mutant, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. But like it was weird. But he had like all these cans, and he was like he stuck like a bottle of Patron to the back of his head and poured it, but while it was stuck to his head without holding it, because I don't know, he's just greasy. I don't know what it is. But and there was like a guy that lifted Rosario Dawson by his eye holes.
What a lucky son of a bitch.
No, I don't think so. He had these he tied her up, and then had like hooks on a chain that he then stuck on his orbital bones.
Ew.
And then like he was in a squat, and then as he stood up, the chains tightened and she lifted off the ground.
Oh, so there was no physical contact with Rosario Dawson.
No. Well, he did.
Ah.
He did get to tie her up as if he was Snidely Whiplash, tying her to the train tracks. But prior to that,
See?
I don't think that's what Snidely Whiplash sounded like. But I'll let you have it.
In my mind, he totally does.
I'll let you have it. But yeah.
I'm losing my
So
mind.
yeah, it was like a typical garbage talent show.
Shitty game show.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, the next match that we have up here is the AEW Women's Championship match between
9:30 already?
Abaddon and Hikaru Shida.
Yes.
Abaddon attacks. Shida waffles her with the Singapore cane.
Mm-hmm.
But Abaddon gets back up. This match goes 8 minutes.
Yep.
Shida gets the win. Yeah.
This match went 8 minutes and also went in the trash.
Yeah, this was not good.
This thing sucked. The bite gimmick is dumb, and like I like both of these wrestlers, and I was preaching to get the Abaddon in this position. This is what I've wanted, and this made me regret wanting it.
Yeah.
Neither of them look good, which is a shame because I usually have nothing but praise for Shida. It was so disappointing. I don't know if like overbooked because of the bite gimmick and overproduced like what they wanted them to do. I have no idea, but it was not good.
So I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to take the belt off Shida at this point.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
this was kind of a stinker.
Right. You know, you need to work hard to elevate her or you get the belt. I think COVID has hurt her run probably more than anybody else. But I don't think Sheeta's usually very good. And I'm not going to say, you know, run her out off of one bad match. Plenty of people have bad matches. Cody Rhodes has made a career of it. But yeah, you got to do something with this women's division. And, you know, taking the belt off of her, whoever they put it on, they're also not going to do anything with. So, you know, you hope you put it on somebody who can take the ball and run themselves and get it over. But they clearly don't care about the women's division, and this was just not a good representation of it.
Yeah, it was real bad.
And like leading up to it, like the bite gimmick last week or whenever they did that was weird, but this is what I wanted. I thought Abaddon was looking really good, and Shida always looks good. And this one, maybe they don't have the chemistry. Maybe there was something else. I don't know, but it wasn't good. Maybe they can bring in you know, a woman, because again, these are the only two women featured on the show except for Penelope in a minor managerial role. So
yeah. Well, after this match, Tay Conti and Anna Jay are with John Silver and Alex Reynolds, and I guess it's going to be Anna Jay against Serena Deeb next week for the NWA Women's title.
Sure.
And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, why don't you put the belt on Anna Jay, maybe, like in AEW, you know, like it's something different.
They got it. I mean, there's something, you know, the Dark Order is going to need, if they want the Dark Order to stay around, they're going to need something. And she's, you know, she could be a pretty big star out of that group, her and Silver. And her and Silver have a good dynamic together. So
yeah,
that could be something.
Yeah. Next match and main event is for the AEW World Heavyweight title.
Yes.
Where we have Rey Fenix going up against Kenny Omega. So this thing goes about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Of course, Kenny Omega retains.
Yes.
The match itself, I thought, was fucking killer.
I really liked it. You know, in recent memory, Omega's best match could be his best AEW match overall, but it's hard to tell as I don't remember as clearly some of his other stuff, but this was really good. And I think, you know, and Kenny's never been my guy necessarily, but I think Kenny is probably the better wrestler, but Phoenix is more fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I did. I really liked this too. Not to ruin anything for later on in the show, but This whole card was sort of just a long letdown for me until this main event. So this was really good.
Yeah,
This was
these
was
two
really
have
good.
great chemistry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows these two guys are good at what they do. They have the really good chemistry. Of course, they were going to have a really good match. It's sort of, if they didn't have a good match, I'd be worried for both of their healths. But
Yeah, for sure.
after the match, we get some extracurriculars, I guess.
Ah, some chicanery.
Right, a little chicanery. Phoenix gets, I guess, right. Omega was like beating him up again afterwards or whatever, not letting up.
Well, Callis got on the mic and he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, like you're wondering why Pac and Penta aren't here."
Yeah,
And they cut to the back and they're getting beat up by Eddie Kingston.
right. Eddie Butcher and Blade are beating those guys up, so they get, there's your little Kingston exposure for the week.
I know. Part of me, I was just like, "Oh, like is Eddie and them joining up with like Omega now? Because that'd be fucking crazy."
Right, but I think it's just hired guns. You know, they'll Omega and Callis will work with anybody who they need to sort of get to where they want to be.
Yeah, it's bad guys looking out for bad guys the way it should be.
Right.
Cal says, "All right, you're gonna get another one-winged angel." And then Moxley shows up with a barbed wire bat.
Yes.
He starts beating up Omega with it. He's pointing at Omega, and then all of a sudden, in come the Good Brothers.
Yes.
Wearing their Impact Tag Team titles, and they beat the shit out of Mox.
Yes,
and
they do.
Hit him with the Magic Killer. They give the bat to Omega. Omega just starts hitting him with the bat over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And then those two dorks, Pillman and Garrison, get in the ring.
Yeah, well, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's who
it
they
was
send
real
out for
odd,
this,
wasn't it?
But all right, I mean, if that's who you're gonna send out,
like they immediately just get like shit housed.
yeah.
And then like there were two like other jobbers that got on the apron and they got beat up real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why it was Pillman Garrison. It was real weird. Jericho's going on about how the Good Brothers like screwed over the Young Bucks in AEW before, and Omega just keeps beating down Moxley with the bat.
Yeah.
Omega starts talking to the camera, says Moxley made him flip the switch, and Moxley, God love his soul, goes after Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
and then just gets beat up more. Out come the Young Bucks, and they like holding back the Good Brothers. Like, what the hell are you guys doing here? Why are you here?
Right.
At that point, Griff and Pillman grab Omega from behind, and they end up eating super kicks.
One super kick.
Yeah, because the one had the bum leg, I didn't know if he broke his leg or not. But they end up eating a super kick and whatever else from Gallows.
Mm-hmm.
To which Omega says, "All right, enough." Throws up the hand symbol, the famous hand symbol.
Yes.
Gallows and Anderson throw it up. The Bucks are kind of looking at each other, looking at them, and then they put it up with them.
Yeah.
While Don Callis proceeds to run around the ring, coming in his pants.
Yes.
So I guess we have a little Bullet Club reunion, huh?
Yep.
You sound pumped about it.
Listen, so I mean, while I am excited for the opportunity that the Young Bucks will be showing a certain emotion that I really enjoy them showing again, I don't care about the Bullet Club anymore.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, the Bullet Club is at Stevie Ray and the NWO levels.
Hey, now don't you talk bad about Stevie Ray.
And
it's on like neck bone, sucker.
Right.
Sucker's gots to know.
Maybe if Gallows started carrying a slapjack with him.
I mean, Gallows does kind of look like Horace Hogan.
Oh God. But like, yeah, the Beast. I think those guys think Bullet Club matters to a lot more people, especially with the shape that it's in New Japan right now. If it even do they still even exist over there?
Yeah,
is it still still Evil's thing and Jay White?
Well,
Dick Togo.
Well, Dick Togo is definitely there, but
yeah,
it's Jay White is still kind of like the leader, but he wasn't for a bit because Evil was there and Jay White couldn't get in Japan.
Right.
So
So it's just, it's a shadow of its former self. And I don't know. And maybe people care, I don't know. It's another unexplained non-storyline turn for the Bucks, right? They just flip back and forth at will for no real reason. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. Out of all those guys in the ring at the end, the one I'm excited for, like, potential stuff is Anderson, and they're not going to break him off from Gallows
No, absolutely.
to do anything. So, like, that's what I would want to see. I'd want to see Mox versus Carl Anderson.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so whatever, not my thing. If you're excited, that's cool. I'm glad, people, if you're excited and you're still in the Bullet Club, and I mean, granted, this is like the best iteration of the Bullet Club, minus the one where Jeff Jarrett was the leader. But
oh, Jesus Christ.
So if you're excited about it, that's cool. It's just not my thing. Not a ton of my guys in that ring right now.
Here's how I feel about Bullet Club. When it was like Finn Balor, Prince Devitt running it, I enjoyed the shit out of it. When AJ Styles took it over, it was still cool because AJ had a hell of a New Japan run.
Okay.
When Omega took it over, I liked it. Because that really was his, like, rise to main event level. But then, like, once, like, Cody got involved and I don't know, Chase Owens,
right. The crown jewel. Excuse me. Use his full name.
And Yujiro Takahashi.
Yeah.
Poor Yujiro. But I don't care about Bullet Club.
Right.
I used to like really like it. I did like it. Listen, I'm not like one of those like people that went out and bought all the different iterations of every Bullet Club shirt.
Right.
Like, I didn't do that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's definitely run its course.
It's run its course. Yeah.
Just what it is.
Like, and I get why they're doing it, because they never really had like mainstream like exposure in the States to it.
Sure.
Not on national TV every week. I don't know what they're going to call themselves. It's weird because on Impact, like, Omega was like, yeah, we're the Bullet Club. But I don't know what they're going to say on AEW. Who knows? Unless there's like an agreement with New Japan about it, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, so do you have any other thoughts on New Year's Smash night one?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm good. We can move on to NXT's New Year's Evil.
Ah, yes, New Year's Evil. Well, we start with one Dexter Lumis.
Yes.
Walking around until he gets to a control panel, and then he turns on all the lights because he's such an odd man.
Right.
First match we have, I know this is going to be your Dude's match of the night.
Yep.
Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Going up against Karrion Kross. This match is commercial free.
And in my notes, there was a lot of giant letters and profanity. I had to write down my profanity to make sure I knew the exact emotions I was feeling. Listen, so Priest is supposed to get a call up. I think this was supposed to be his go-away match. But Kevin Owens squashed his call up because they wanted him to be Kevin Owens' best friend, and Kevin Owens was like, "Why would I be best friends with that guy?" And I mean, is there a truer statement? Why would anyone be best friends with this guy, especially now that he's updated his look by having an arrow shaved on the side of his head?
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up.
Of course I'm going to bring this up. This will be the thing I talk about the most. I hate this guy, and he manages to make me hate him more. I was like, holy shit, did he really shave an arrow on the side of his head? No, he didn't. There's no way.
Man. He's the Archer of Infamy.
He should get it tattooed. If he was a man, he'd get it tattooed. And you know what? Listen here, Punishment. I know you listen to the show. If you were a man, you'd get that arrow shaved. You'd get that arrow shaved in the side of your head. Or tattooed on your head, I mean. The arrow you have shaved, get it tattooed, pal. He is garbage. It's insane to me that this match took 20 minutes. This is Karrion Kross coming back. This is his first match back from injury, right?
I think he had a squash.
Okay.
And then So I mean, yeah, this is his first match back.
This
Really.
should have also been a squash. Whether or not you're carrying Priest up to the main roster, whoever you can figure out wants to actually be on national television admitting to be best friends with this asshole. Karrion Kross comes back, seemingly going to run for the title he had to give up, right? That's where you're going to want to put him. You give him a hard-fought 20-minute match against Damian Priest? He's going for a title, and he has a hard time with a mid-carder that lost to Leon Ruff?
I get what you're saying, and I get that it's like your perspective on it.
Okay.
Their perspective on it is that Damian Priest is like, upper.
So you're telling
main
me,
event.
Okay, so you're telling me that they're building this on the fact that other people in the world might like Damian Priest and think that he's good? Because, sir, may I refer you back to our numerous shows where I've asked for emails from our wide listener base about whether or not Damian Priest is a good wrestler, and I've never gotten an email that said he was.
Well, that's all. That's very true.
So my science, dare I say, my facts, he's no good. And even if he is, let's presuppose for a second that he's fine. Why not have Kross have a more dominant win over this guy and help immediately elevate him back to the top?
I agree.
It doesn't work.
I'm with you.
It does not work for me, dog, to steal a turn of phrase from Joe Sposto, who stole a turn of phrase from that guy from the American Idol, Randy Jackson. That's his name. Is that his name? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't watched American Idol in forever.
Right. But that's it. I'm done. This match stunk. Damian Priest stinks. I honestly, best of luck to him in his call up, because then I don't ever have to talk about him again.
Yeah, Kross wins with the the Saito suplex, and then hits him with a forearm smash to the back of the head.
Yes.
So I think that was Damian Priest. All right, sayonara, pal. You're out of here.
Right. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Forever.
So Adam Cole and Roddy Strong announced that they're in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which begins next week.
Yes.
They're facing off against Breezango.
Okay.
So that should be a fun one.
It'll be a good match, sure.
Next match tonight, though, we have for the NXT Cruiserweight title, Santos Escobar versus Gran Metalik.
Yes.
Which still feels like the most quickly thrown together program I could ever think of.
Yes. Very odd.
Yeah. Escobar gets the win. 12 minutes. Not good.
Yeah. Again, not a lot of chemistry. Didn't think it was terrible. I really liked the save from the botched apron Rana.
Yeah.
That could have went really bad, and it got saved and turned into something on the fly pretty good. But yeah, I don't get this sudden house party push. It seems as if they're downplaying Escobar and Legado de Fantasma. They were main players with multiple segments a lot of the weeks, and now they're just kind of, he's got to wrestle the guys that you may have seen on TV or not, because 205 Live isn't real.
It just felt like super thrown together.
Yeah, it's a weird like
there's
program.
no investment in it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And at no point where I was like, oh, I think Metalik's gonna win this one.
Right.
I guess that maybe they were just trying to be like, hey, they're gonna have a good match, and it wasn't very good.
And the cruiserweight title is such a weird belt, because if it functions on 205 Live, then that's fine. That's sort of where it belongs. But bring it into NXT, and you don't have a ton of people lining up to wrestle Escobar for it, but you have a ton of what are typically cruiserweight-sized guys in a lot of different spots. Johnny Gargano wrestles for the main title all the time, like all that sort of stuff. But you're not going to put him in a match against Escobar for the cruiserweight title. That doesn't make sense. So it's just a weird spot to have this title on TV at, anyway.
Well, and for me, it goes back to like look at all the main guys that wrestle like cruiserweights.
Right.
It's not like a special style anymore.
Right.
Like originally when it was in
Yeah.
WCW.
Which is why it fits when it's on 205 Live, because that's the purpose of that show, and you can sort of focus on it. Okay, it's the cruiserweight title, but it's this show's title. Having it on NXT, but having it a not wide enough cruiserweight sort of swath of guys to choose from means you throw in Grand Metalik for no reason, and it just seems awkward.
Yeah, it was super weird, but yeah, it wasn't very good.
And especially when in reality, Escobar is so good, so charismatic, and talented that he can eventually, I think, make a run for the main title.
Yeah.
So that makes it even weirder. So they got to work out the kinks there. I don't necessarily know that NXT needs this title on the show with the North American title there, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if you need like 3 single men's titles.
Yeah, right.
And then should try to fit in the tag titles too, which they barely do. So yeah, right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Mercedes Martinez gets a vignette just basically saying she's going to kill Io Shirai.
Mm-hmm.
But up next, sir.
Here we go. Here it is, baby.
We have the return of Cartina Cortez.
Yes.
Which I know that's what you're excited about.
I'm gonna say this before we get into it. When the internet issues were happening the day we normally record. And we're recording this. It's Sunday morning essentially right now.
It is. Yes.
It's not. This episode isn't going to be up till Sunday at some point. I was like worried. I was like, if we miss a week, it's not a big deal. Who cares? But I'm like, it's gonna be really hard for me not to talk about the return of my girl here. So, who's Katrina Cortez? What's her name?
I don't know. I think it's Cartina.
Okay,
I think that's what
Cartina, that her. Works too. Sure.
Going up against the returning, the Ice Woman, the true shooter of NXT, one Xia Li.
Sup, Xia Li.
She has a fancy new entrance.
Yep.
There's a lot of karate. There's a lot of daggers.
Yes.
There's a lot of creepy people sitting on thrones. There's a lot of boa.
Yep.
But yeah, this was, hey, I'm Xia Li and I'm going to murder you in a minute.
Right. This is exactly what I've been asking for them to do with Xia Li. Again, I will 100% admit that when it comes to a technical style of pro wrestling, she ain't no good. But listen, the kicks she was throwing in this match looked great.
The shooter's back.
The shooter is back. She is a legitimate martial artist. And, I mean, I haven't checked the dirt sheets to see how Katrina, Ms. Cortez, if you're nasty, is... because listen, Xia has a history of fake or otherwise kicking off someone's nose. But the kicks looked real. The big finish looked good. I've wanted her to be this deadly striker because, online on her Instagram where she completely ignores anything that's going on TV. Although last week she did finally start to not post stuff like she's actually been kidnapped by some weird I don't know, ghoul witch woman. But she trains MMA, she trains martial arts, and she's good at it. And you watch her hit the pads, and you're like, wow, she could really kick someone's ass. So having her in the ring, just being this striker, doing impressive strikes that look like you're kicking off someone's head is exactly what I wanted. And it's the best way to get the most out of her because she's never going to be that technical of a wrestler. She could probably pick up some stuff and be very simple, but her strength is going to be in her striking, and it can work. It looks different than what's on NXT. It looks convincing. You just have to teach her, get her to string something together, have her have these little matches till she strings something together, and then get a longer match out of her. I was excited for this. I'm glad she's back. She's got new gear that looks better than her old gear. I'm all in. They 3 weeks ago they turned me around on the Killer Karate Masters nonsense, and now I am all in because my girl's back, and I hope we get a Boa match. I hope they try and do something with Boa too. That dude's been there for a long time, and they start and stopped with him a while ago. Let's see what they're gonna try and revamp with Boa.
Yeah, and it's just one of those like, I feel there are some people where it's like, hey, shit or get off the pot.
Right,
You know what I mean?
You got to get something out of these people. Xia Li, is she ever going to go on the main roster for a permanent kind of way? I doubt it. She'll probably show up in some Rumbles. She's not going to have a WrestleMania moment. Maybe she will. I hope she does. But like,
who are you to doubt Xia
right?
Li?
I hope she does. But like, you got to get something out of them, and this is, I think, the best way to do it.
It's certainly a different approach,
right?
That's for sure.
So.
Yeah, so William Regal is here now. He informs us that Timothy Thatcher is hurt and the fight pit is officially off.
Yes, and I've read that this was a gimmick injury, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
We get like a little Bronson Reed interview and says that he's putting NXT on notice this year.
Yeah.
And then he picks Rhea Ripley to win.
He's not good on the stick.
Yeah.
Needs a little work. I mean, that's what NXT's for, so... But yeah, needs a little work on the promo there.
Well, this leads into the last woman standing match.
Yes.
Between Rhea Ripley and Big Mama Cool, Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing goes like 17 minutes.
Yep.
And Raquel stands tall, my friend.
Goddamn right.
I thought this was awesome.
Loved it. Me too.
They beat the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Kai ended up getting locked in a locker. Was hilarious.
It was very funny. Yep.
Them like throwing each other through the glass doors or whatever that was. Like, dude, they just went for it.
The table bump that was a little short.
Yeah. The power bomb like through the stage at the end of the match. Oh.
Yep.
I thought this was great.
I think they clearly, so they've been running those video packages, how they sort of got signed together and were on the for lack of a better term, Coconut Loop as a tag team. And it shows that they're friends. You can kind of tell when friends have a wrestling match because they the chemistry is there, the trust is there, and they kind of just go for it.
And you're willing to take crazier risks with each other.
Right. I like this a lot. There's talks of Rhea getting her call up finally. I think they're crowding that women's division and the main roster pretty hard, but there's not much else for her to do in NXT. They ruined her with the Charlotte stuff, and they've done a decent job, I guess, at rehabbing her on NXT. I would not that they've done this great in the past with Rumble winners, but have her have a strong Rumble appearance maybe, or something.
Have her win the Rumble.
Right, you can have her win the Rumble. Doesn't always work out for everybody, but I think that would be a really good spot. I think she's ready. I think you can get a lot out of her because she's so young, and I think that's where she belongs. There's certainly not much for her in NXT other than spinning her wheels. And if she does leaving, getting Gonzalez over, the build on Gonzalez has been really good. They've done a really good job protecting the things that she can't do, helping her enhance the things she can do, and she'll get better and better. But getting the rub from Rhea, if it is in fact Rhea's way up and out, is good for Gonzalez. I think she's a main eventer and looked really good. And we've been fans for a while. Her and Dakota I think are great.
Sure. Sure.
And I hope they'll stay together. We'll see them for a while, but it's the right way to do it. If Rhea's leaving, give Gonzalez the rub, and no better way to do it than a killer match like this. Like a lot of great stuff in it.
I agree. It was definitely an awesome match for sure. We go to The Way, who are on their way with a full police escort, which just seemed very unneeded.
Yes.
Gargano talks about him breaking the curse and talks about how the Browns made the playoffs, and Candace gets him a plaque, and then there's like a superhero drawing, and
Yes.
Johnny announces he and the scumbag are entering the Dusty Classic.
Yeah.
And then Shotzi Blackheart shows up with her tank.
Yeah.
And,
so I will have you know that the drawing that they showed was by an artist, Nolanium. He's on Instagram, and I won a contest, and he drew a caricature of me that I used on Twitter as my Twitter hit pick for a while. So me and Gargano have something in common.
I feel like you told me this. Did you
Yes.
tell me this?
I believe yes.
Okay.
Yes, because he's also doing a print for the High Spots Terry Funk signing.
Ah, yes, you did tell me.
He does
this.
apparently
Okay.
does a lot of prints for High Spots as well for their signings and stuff.
Good for him.
He's an artist I've been following for a while. He's a friend of a friend, and he's super talented. So so that's pretty cool. I like the piece, even though Austin Theory was on it. But anyway, go ahead. Shotzi Blackheart in her tank.
Yeah, she shows up with the tank and shoots the redacted in his dick with a projectile missile.
Good, right way to do it.
I did laugh when Johnny ran out of the ring and dove on top of him like he was trying to protect a child.
Yes.
Shotzi hits the ring. She's beating up Candace. Johnny wants to go after her, and then here comes Kushida out of nowhere.
Yes.
And they hold the ring, and the bell rings, and it's Dexter Lumis holding the bell. And he points to the Tron, and he drew them already having a mixed tag.
Yes.
So, which leads us to Candice and Johnny versus Kushida and Shotzi.
All right by me.
Oh, absolutely. It goes 10 minutes. Kushida and Shotzi get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Shotzi, listen, dear, babe, please don't break your neck. For the love of God.
Right. I was like please, you should catch her, but also Candace is tiny. So I was like, oh no.
I love Shotzi. I feel like they have a lot invested in her.
Right.
She's young, and I think that she has the potential to just be like a megastar.
Right.
And just please don't hurt yourself for the love of God.
It was close. It was like a half a turn away from that Lita bump.
Yep.
And
that's exactly what I thought of when it happened.
Right. And I'm like, oh no. Yeah. It's gross.
I love the team of Shotzi and Kushida though. That was fun.
And I guess we're gonna get Kushida Gargano for the title. Right?
Well, I think now they're doing in the Dusty Classic, Kushida's teaming with Leon Ruff.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's going to lead to something, but
it should, because Gargano Kushida will be great.
I did see Leon Ruff saying he wants to call their tag team Rough Hour. So,
okay, all right.
All right, Leon Ruff.
Just cut promos that are just segments of text from monologues from the Rush Hour movies, please.
Yeah, I'd be all about it.
Leon Ruff can't understand anything Kushida says. Yeah. Amazing.
We get announced that there's going to be a takeover on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So that will be in 5 weeks or something.
All right.
So that'll be on a Sunday. Okay. So
it's a perfect gift for my wife.
Yeah, I was just about to say, something tells me I don't know if we're going to be watching that one.
It's a pandemic. What are we going to do for Valentine's Day? Nothing.
I don't know. Have a nice meal. Enjoy some Chardonnay or some.
Listen.
I don't know. What's another sort of wine? Sauvignon Blanc or whatever it's called.
Listen, we treat every day like Valentine's Day. We don't just let a corporate greeting card company tell us when we need to express our love for one another, okay? All right, pal?
God damn it. We get it. You're in love and you have a wife, okay? DJ, we get it. God.
That's right. I have a wife. And she lives with me.
And she kind of likes me sometimes.
And she tolerates me most of the time.
So they interview William Regal backstage, and next week Dusty Classic begins. But he says, you know what? For the first time ever as well, we're gonna have a women's Dusty Tag Team Classic.
Oh,
So
do they have enough
I
talent to tag up to make a whole tournament?
I think they probably do. It's probably not going to be as big as the men's one, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I it's like, okay, is this going to lead to like maybe a shot at the like women's tag team titles or something? Like make it
It
like
should. Yeah.
like
Right.
make it stand for something, and like, hey, whoever wins then on the next takeover, if it runs to the next takeover, you versus the women's tag team champs, which I don't even know who the
I
women's
was gonna
tag
say,
team
who
champs
are the women's tag team champions? It's still Shayna.
Last I
And...
knew, last I knew it was Shayna and Nia, I
Yeah.
think.
Huh. All
Oh
right.
God, that's bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, main event time
Yes.
we have for the NXT Championship. Kyle O'Reilly going up against Finn Balor.
Yes.
Finn's first match back since his last match against O'Reilly, where O'Reilly shattered his jaw. No commercials for this one, which had me salivating.
Sure.
So this match goes over 17 minutes,
Okay.
and still NXT champion Finn Balor.
Yes.
I will say this: I don't think it was as good as their first match,
Agreed.
but I still really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I mean these guys know how to wrestle.
That spot of O'Reilly's biting the ropes,
Yeah.
and Finn kicking the ropes was disgusting.
Yeah. So they sort of focused on O'Reilly, or Finn working O'Reilly's jaw, basically as revenge, right?
Ugh.
Yeah. It's just, both these guys are talented. It was certainly a banger of a match, just not as big as their last one. But I mean, it's just. I also really like that they are focusing on O'Reilly as a singles wrestler, having Cole and Roddy go in the Dusty Classic together.
Yeah, it's different, and it puts like the Undisputed Era as equal levels, because
Right.
it was always Cole was the leader. Well, now okay, let's give the focus to someone else. You can do
Right.
that because they can all stand on their own 2 feet.
And Cole in promos have been saying that, like, there is no leader.
Yeah.
He's like, we're a team. We're gonna get the prophecy's gonna come again, and they're gonna be tag champs. Like it's smart. I like it. It really works, especially when O'Reilly's having these matches, high profile and delivering. That helps.
Yeah, and towards the end of the match, Finn got busted hard way, so he was bleeding all over the
Yep.
place.
I think they both
Yeah,
went to the hospital again.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So-
Yeah, after the match, Undisputed Era, they were checking on O'Reilly, and Finn just kind of stood there, and Kyle looked like he was just wanted to die. So, yeah, I don't know where it goes from there with O'Reilly. I don't know if it's going to be like O'Reilly's like, hey, I got to break away from Undisputed Era. Maybe I feel like I don't deserve to be in this group right now.
Right.
Kind of, I don't know, rededicate himself to stand on his own, maybe. So we'll see. But Finn did not miss a beat, that's for sure.
No.
And I'll tell you what, I love the finish. I love that it was just a modified abdominal stretch.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
when have you seen that? Like,
Right.
so I was all about that. So kudos to these guys again for delivering another
Yeah.
banger.
Agreed.
So, but yeah, that was the end of New Year's Evil.
It is.
So I'm going to ask you the questions there, pal.
All right.
Show from each match. Listen to me. Match from each show, match overall, and show overall.
AEW for me is such an easy pick. It was a one match show, just a drag of a show to get through, I think. But my match is Omega versus Phoenix, the only match on that show, and it is great. But the only match on that show that was worth it in any capacity, and it was really, really good. NXT is Rhea versus Raquel Gonzalez. I love the main event. but not as good as their last one. And those guys sort of hit that, well, this is what I've expected out of them kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Rhea and Gonzalez was great and crazy and gross and fun, and a Lady Haas fight, and I loved it so much. So that gets my NXT match. My match of the night, however, does go to Omega and Phoenix, just because that, like, their match is maybe not something you should give away on TV, like a match that good. Really, it was a pay-per-view level match. And my show of the night is NXT, because NXT had a bunch of segments that I really enjoyed, going in some directions. They some things missed, but some segments I liked. And AEW, again, it was a one-match show for me. So
yeah, I'm the same right across the board. I even saw somebody tweet out like Omega Phoenix might be one of the best TV matches ever.
yeah,
Um,
it was really
like
good.
you,
TV
like you said,
match.
giving that away on TV match, like wow, it's
Right,
pretty daring, because that's a pretty big draw with those two. So,
for sure.
but yeah, I'm gonna go right across the board with you on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, pal. Overall, let me bring up my spreadsheet.
Okay.
Let's see where we're at. That puts me at season 2 totals at 28 for AEW, and 24 for NXT.
Okay.
And that puts you at 26 and 26.
Look at me, I'm right down the middle,
You're
baby.
staying right down the middle. Overall,
just like Fonzie wants me to.
that's right. Overall, that puts me at 31 for AEW and 33 for NXT, and you at 30 for AEW and 34 for NXT. So we're right there.
Oh, baby.
Right there. And as far as fans go, that one's a little harder. So maybe there was other stuff going on in the world this week that wrestling suffered from. But AEW,
that the world suffered from.
yes, AEW pulled the 662,000, and NXT pulled the 641,000. Pretty sure that's how that worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So AEW
honestly,
wins.
I didn't even look.
AEW has a huge drop, but NXT actually went up from the week before, because that last week was the Brody tribute. So,
Well, yeah.
of course, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so not great for wrestling, but that's fine. It's understandable for sure. But that's the ratings, pal. I don't know what else. I don't know what else you could possibly want from me after that.
I think you've done enough. I think we've done enough.
Thank you. I think so too. I think it's about time we get credit for all the hard work we do.
I agree with you on that. Well, how about you hit those plugs and maybe we will get some credit eventually.
Ah, crap. Hit the plugs.
As I hear you flipping through your notebook.
Yep. Trying to get to the page with them, because, like, God, if I remember them, ever. I have no idea where was the last time I even wrote them down. What terrible podcaster I am.
You know, I was gonna do like the Jeopardy music, but then I got real sad because Friday was Trebek's last show.
Yeah, and I forgot to watch. I watched every one this week but Fridays.
Jeez.
Right, I know, I'm terrible.
Ay.
Yep. Oh well, that's all right. I could probably better off. I probably would have been in tears. Although, spoiler, a little secret about my wife. Michelle hates Trebek, so not that she's like happy that he's dead or anything, but she does not like him as a host. She felt he was smug. She would always yell at him because she's like, "You have the answers on a card. Don't act like you knew it." Anyway, plugs.
Oh,
I got that. Thank you for doing a little hucky buck there, because I got to the page that we needed to. It stalled for me, and here we are.
This is why I have your back.
Hitting the plugs. We are on Twitter at Wednesday War Pod. We're Wednesday Night War Podcast on Instagram. You can email the show at WednesdayNightWarPod@gmail.com. And you can visit WednesdayNightWarPodcast.com to get the show. We are also available on PW Ponderings at pwponderings.com, at PW Ponderings on Twitter. We are a member of the soon-to-be-named network, soon-to-be-named-network.com, at STBN Network on Twitter. There you will also find plenty of podcasts that are our friends of any topic you could possibly want, including Longbox Heroes, At Odds with Wrestling, Profane Argument, Final Wrestling Place, Puzzle Warriors 3, and the on hiatus Porch Talk. I'm sure among others.
It is cold.
It is cold. It is not porch weather. So yeah, you can look them up. There's comics, there's more wrestling, there's all kinds of things. Although while we are late this week, At Odds is non-existent. But that's fine. Listen to an old episode. It's worth it. Listen to their review of Santa's Sleigh if you didn't already.
There you go.
Other than that, we have some friends. Pod the Dreaded Sundown at Pod Sundown. They are a horror movie review and collector podcast. Our friends Chuck and Bill. And Cinema Vertigo.
Dude, hold on. Before you continue,
yes,
I think they did Dead Heat this week.
Oh yes, yep, they're doing Dead Heat. What a movie! The Joe Piscopo Treat Williams feature film about a zombie
what a
cop.
Classic,
absolute classic, 10 out of 10. And then at Cinema Vertigo, it's a movie review podcast. They do 2 movies a week. I believe they hit the that one Netflix movie that was Chadwick Boseman's last movie.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to go back an episode, they did Wonder Woman 84 and the first Christopher Reeve Superman movie. And if you want to listen to 4 people destroy Wonder Woman 84 for about an hour and 45 minutes, that's the podcast for you. And then you can go back and find my appearance. It's a good episode. Also, a plug. Monday morning, you'll be able to hear my guest appearance on The A Show. They are at The A Show on I'll have you know that when I went on The A Show, I fucked up our plugs. Spoiler for when you listen. So
I can't wait.
I am continually bad at this on everything I do. So I'm glad that I kept up appearances here. On Twitter, at The A Show on CKCC. They had a new podcast bi-weekly. They are a draft show. They're taking the idea that plenty of other people have done of you pick a promotion, you pick a year, you draft your stars sort of one at a time thing, and then you build a card on air, talk it out, and then people vote who has the best card. So that should be up Monday with the cards, with the episode. I had a ton of fun doing it. I'll retweet the links and all that sort of stuff. Live 9 a.m. Monday, that's going up. I was the guest. It's their 3rd episode. Joe Sposta was on the 1st episode. And I picked WCW from 1992. And it is Matt and Chris who host, so it's the 3 of us who do the draft. Give that a listen. I think it was entertaining. I also think that my card was the best. So when the voting is up, I expect everyone to vote for me, whether they think it's a good idea or not. You're obligated to make sure I beat Matt.
Oh boy!
Yes.
I was gonna make some sort of joke about votes right now, but I'm gonna pass.
Maybe read the room. Maybe don't. But listen, I necessarily don't feel one way or another about whether or not I lose to Chris Decker's card. But if I lose to Matty D, I will never forgive myself. So
as long as you don't tase yourself in the balls over it.
Wow. All right. Well, so that's where we went. But anyway,
sure did. Fucking idiot.
Listen to the show. Vote on who has the best card. It's me, but if you feel otherwise, vote for whoever you want. But again, that's the A Show. I'll tweet all that stuff out come Monday morning. Personal wise, if you want to hit me up on my personal account when it's not suspended for making Kevin Sorbo cry, I'm at the Dooge, TheDooge. Had a 12-hour break this week that I enjoyed, actually. I was mad that I couldn't post more pictures of my Tenru action figure on my desk, but I enjoyed my 12 hours of Twitter silence that I got for literally making Kevin Sorbo upset over a pun. And I'm not mad about it. So you can follow me there. What about you, Brett? Where can they find you?
Well, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, you could follow me at BrettXEdge570. Haven't been tweeting a lot lately because the world. But I don't know. Last thing I tweeted about was somebody drove by my house yesterday blasting Return of the Mac, and it made me feel real good. And then also I was tweeting about Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes, you were.
So, because goddamn, that movie's great. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, Brett X Edge 570. I was tweeting about Wrestle Kingdom a little bit, but the world happened, and yeah, so there's that. If you want an escape from the world right now and you want to watch some independent professional wrestling,
Ooh.
you can go to independentwrestling.tv, Jerry's Internet Wrestling Emporium. Use the promo code Mortis; it'll get you 5 days free. Since we're recording this on late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, I don't know if they have anything on the schedule till next weekend, so I'm not going to plug it. But if you want to, I don't know, go watch some old, Jersey All Pro.
Yes.
Go and do it. Use the promo code Mortis, and you can do it for 5 days for free.
I mean, what more could you possibly want?
That was a good sell.
Thank you.
Jerry needs to add me to the payroll.
It's true. He should.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got, pal. How about you?
That's all I got too, man. Let's we'll call it a night. It's a late one, and thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
We understand that the state of the world, one way or another, may not. Maybe a wrestling podcast isn't the most important thing going on right now, but if you've taken the time out to listen, we appreciate it. And we like talking wrestling, and we like to entertain, and we hope that we're entertaining you guys a little bit. If we can take an hour and a half out of your day and get you to not think about some terrible shit, no matter what that terrible shit might be, we're more than happy to do it. So honestly, thanks for listening. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah, we sure will. If I leave you with one last message, it is going to be: please stay safe, please wear a mask, please socially distance. We still got a fucking pandemic going on, people.
Long way to go.
So take care of yourselves. Please take care of each other. And pro wrestling, let's go.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!